Hey, this is What If Deku was a Villain Part 2. If you haven't seen the first one, go watch it. I like it a lot. I like the first episode a lot, or part a lot. It was pretty cool. Tomorrow, part 2 of What If Deku had stated matter manipulation, or just matter manipulation itself. It's where he has control over all four states of matter: solid, liquid, air, and plasma. Solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. And yeah, so that'll be coming out tomorrow. And remember, 100 subs, and I'll sing a song and upload it on YouTube. You guys get to pick the song. 49 subs, we're halfway there. 100 by the end of the week, 100 by the 20th, and then I'll upload the song. So let's get this video started. So we ended off last time with Izuku, with everyone hearing them talk about Izuku Midoriya being his name, the ace's name, and they're like, when they hear Izuku Midoriya, they say, alright, we need to go in the streets and search for him and put out an Amber Alert for him, so then we can track him faster. Maybe we should put him on the news as well. And they say, good point. But then Izzy speaks up and says, that won't be necessary. And they're all confused, like, what do you mean? Well, Izuku Midoriya, before he became a villain, he wanted to be a hero. And we were thinking, maybe if he wanted to become a hero and became a villain, maybe he still wants to be a hero. And they're all, like, this is crazy. This is crazy. He's one of the most dangerous villains in the entire world. Why do you think we'd let him be a hero? And I know, it's quite crazy, but listen to me for a second. Then he starts to explain how he's just a kid and he's the same year. If he was in school, it'd be a first year, and he sorry about this. I'm just quite hungry. He says that he'd be a first year, and he wanted to be a hero before he became a villain, and maybe he could, become a hero with his skills and techniques. They don't know what he can do yet, but one of them say he's quirkless, and almost says that's what we thought until we felt a weird pressure, on a certain day. We felt a weird pressure on a certain day when Isaiah was teaching the class, and not even I could move. And they're all shocked at this. Hold on, I'll finish what I'm eating and I'll come back. Alright, I'm finished, but I forgot what I'm up to. So I am just going to say that they're, trying to get them into school, and they're like, oh, it's crazy. It's 14 or first year. Alright, So everyone wants to argue with Nezu, but they can't because he's the smartest person alive. Oh, not person, smartest thing on the planet. So they just let him do it. And they, and the next couple of days pass, and Ida runs into the ace and says, "You," and then Zuko's looking down on him because he's on top of one of those clotheslines that you see in a movie. No, let's just say he's on a balcony and he's looking down on the balcony railing and looking down at Ida, and all you can see is like green eyes, like glowing green eyes, and he's like, "You, who are you?" And Zuko just disappears, and all you can hear, or all Ida can hear, is "So you don't remember me," echoing throughout the alleyway, and he appears right behind Ida with his hand on his shoulder, and he's whispering in his ear, and he's saying, "I'm the ace," or like he's something like that. He's saying, "You can't remember the ace," and Ida's like, "You, I've needed to talk to you for a while," and Izuku just says, "Soon," and disappears. And when he disappears, wind just gushes, and Ida closes his eyes for a second. Yeah, his eyes for a second, and Izuku's gone. And Ida is just like, he's like, so he's thinking to himself, so he'll meet us soon, or he'll meet me soon, or he'll talk to me soon, something like that. And Zuko, he's left, and he goes back to his like house sort of thing, and so the next couple of days pass, and Zuko, let's just say someone from UA creates like a nano tracker, so it's a tracker that's so small that you can't even see it. Like it's even if you get like a microscope, it won't work. It needs to be a like really extreme zoomed in microscope just to see it. And so someone invented it, and they one of the heroes stuck Zuko with the tracker, and while he was being attacked by him, and he died, and so he went to Zuko. When he killed him, he went to his house, and it was sort of like an apartment, but it was like a sort of shabby one. One of those ones that aren't abandoned but are very low quality, and you see Azuki's room is just full of knives, blades, and things like that, because he can use techniques to enhance the blade. Yeah, enhance his blade, and Izuku, he goes to sleep, wakes up, and he's putting on his clothes, and he gets a knock on the door. He says like something like, "I'll be there soon," and he puts his clothes on, opens the door, and he barely dodges a punch, and this punch was it was someone not that strong who's a bit of a bitch. Never mind. Let's just say he almost got hit by Best Genius. He dodges the punch, and he jumps back and lands on the ground. And when he lands, he slides, and he says to him, "Best Genius, it's it's good to see you. And Miss says, well, it's not good to see you. And Izuku says, oh, that hurts my feelings. Maybe I'll just kill you to make myself feel better. And Izuku, he's running straight at Best Jeanist. He kicks a wall, and a blade that was on it falls off, and he catches it, and while he's running, so he's running and then kicks the wall, grabs the blade, and then slices at Best Jeanist. He barely dodges it as well, and then he gets knocked out from behind, like just directly from behind. Never mind. He just gets knocked out from behind, and it's midnight, and Izuku notices that Midnight is there, and Izuku is thinking in his head that he might get himself purposely captured so that he could kill a lot of people in jail, like a lot of prisoners, because they use their quirks for evil things, and because he's sort of like Stain, he's not, he's not a criminal or a villain, but people think he is. So he's sort of like the hero killer, but he kills villains as well, but no one knows, as I said, because he doesn't leave a calling card. So he wakes up and he's in a prison, or he's in a prison with a handcuff to a table, like the questioning table, and Detective Tsukauchi comes in with All Might's Tsukauchi just comes in by himself, and he asks, Zuko asks, where am I? And Tsukauchi says, you're in, well, and then he just says, oh yeah, you're in Tartarus. And Zuko's just like, why am I here? And Tsukauchi says, because you're a villain, you're a villain or a criminal, something like that. And Zuko says, alright, can I leave now? And Tsukauchi says, not till you answer some questions. And Izuku just says 3. And Tsukauchi's confused, it's like, 3? And Izuku says, 3 questions, I'll answer them. And Tsukauchi says, alright. And so Tsukauchi says, so, is your name Izuku Midoriya? And he says, yes. Then Tsukauchi says, Tsukauchi asks, why are you a villain? And Izuku says, I'm a vigilante, and it's because, All Might and Katsuki Bakugo. And he already knew this. He was just confirming. And Tsukauchi says, will you come to UA? And Izuku just asks, why would I come to UA? And Tsukauchi says, because you wanted to be a hero, right? And Izuku says, wanted. And that's already 3 questions, so I'll be leaving now. And he just pulls his arm up. He uses like 5% of his total strength, pulls his arm up, and it breaks not the handcuff, because it's hardened, like, made of a very, like, strong material. He pulls his hand up. The chains crack, but they don't break. But the entire table that the handcuff's attached to gets lifted up with him, and he just walks out with the table, and he stands up with the table and walks out the room. And when the table can't fit through the door, the chain snaps, and he just walks off. And Tsukuyoichi's like really scared of him now, because when he was doing this, he was releasing a tiny bit of bloodlust, and he just broke an entire table, and as well as the like really strong handcuffs. The guards see him and they're like, freeze, and Izuku just disappears. And and they're like, where'd he go? And they just got knocked out by 2 neck chops from behind. And Izuku, he just walks off. Sorry. He just walks off. And All Might is walking in as he knocks out the 2 people. And All Might's just like, hey, young Midoriya. And as soon as he says young Midoriya, Izuku just looks at him with like a death glare. And he just walks off again. And All Might, he's scared because Izuku used 5. Sorry. He uses 5% of his total bloodlust. He used like 0.5% bloodlust with Tsukuyoichi, and he was scared. He uses 5% in total of his bloodlust, and All Might is just like shaking at this point so badly that he detransforms, falls on the floor, and he's about to pass out. And Izuku just disappears. This is going to be a shorter what if, so it's only going to be about half an hour long, maybe 25 minutes. So Izuku goes back to his house, gets all his like belongings that he really wants, and disappears again. So like he's got some swords, a bit of food, and a bit of water, and goes to a new location. Little does he know, he's still got his chakra tracker on his back, or no, not on his. Yeah, he's got his tracker on him. It's not on his back. It's just anywhere, like his leg or something like that. And he disappears and appears in a new location. They try to do this again, and Izuku just realizes that he's got a tracker on him, because no way that they'll be able to find him either way. So he finds it, even though it's really tiny. He can actually see it and just slaps it, and it's destroyed. Heroes, just before it got destroyed, they saw his location just before it got destroyed, and they go over to that new location. It's not Base Genesis time, and where Midnight uses the air vents to get sleeping gas through, and Izuku notices this. He covers his mouth and his nose, and runs out the room, and he just asks, why do you keep following me? And they're like, because, we want you to be a hero, and All Might is, sorry about what he's done, and you should be a hero because you're quite powerful. And Izuku's like, I'm not having it, and I'm not doing it. They're like, why not? And Izuku says, because if I be a hero, then who will purge the fake ones? And they hear this, and they're like, why, what do you mean purge them? Purge the fake heroes. And Izuku says, all you heroes are fake. Only, Ingenium and Tengen Ida are true heroes. And they ask, why? And then Zuko says, because they're not doing it for power, fame, and fortune. They're doing it so that they can save people, like a true hero, like you all should be doing, but you're not. You're all doing it for those reasons I've listed off, and that's not what makes a true hero. and they hear this, they reflect upon themselves, shit like that, fucking Naruto talk no juicy shit, and they realize that the true meaning of being a hero is to save people, because saving a person is what you should do, and things like that. So while he's talking no jutsuing, All Might comes. Or no, he says to himself, well, if you're all fake heroes, then I guess I'll have to be the true one, and like a true hero. And he says, fine, I'll be a hero. And they hear this and they're like, wait, that quick? And Zuki just says some shit. I'm not getting into it because I really want to get into the good part. So Zuku is just walking to UA. He's got some handcuffs on, and Zuko says, is this really necessary? And they're like, yes, because you might do something, you might be up to something. And Zuko says, I'm not up to something, plus if I was, he says, plus this still isn't necessary. And they're like, what do you mean? And Zuko says, because I can do this, and he just breaks out the handcuffs again. And he just walks, like, completely fine while all the heroes stop and just look at him. Like, they're stopped, standing still, looking at him. And Zeus just keeps on walking. Then he slows down, stops, turns to look at him, and he says, what, did I do something wrong? And they're just like, no, nothing wrong. Because those were, like, a tiny bit stronger than the ones in the prison that he had had on before, because these ones were designed by the support course. And they escort him to UA. Izuku, he's still wearing his villain clothes, and they're like, hey, do you want to change into something more appropriate? Izuku says, nope, I'm keeping the sun. And they're like, why? And Izuku says, because it's special to me. And they're like, what do you mean? Why? And then Izuku says, because every person I've killed, I've won this on. I've won this. And they're like, how many people have you killed? And Izuku says 1,712, and they're like shocked because he's only killed about 500 heroes, and you've only killed 500 heroes. I thought you were like a hero. I thought you only killed heroes and not innocent civilians. And Zuko says, what do you mean innocent civilians? I've killed mob leaders and criminals and shit like that. And then they're like, what do you mean? And Zuko says, go on, list one that's, I'll list a few names that have been, who hasn't had that much who hasn't had recent activity lately. And then he lists off some mob gang leaders and some petty criminals, and who the police haven't heard, the police and heroes haven't heard from for a long time. And they're like, wait, you killed them? And Zuko says, yeah, I did. Why? And they say, oh, because we thought you were you were like purely a hero killer or a villain. And Zuko says, I do that too. Although I may not seem it, I'm a true hero. Although I kill heroes, they're all fake. And they're like, oh, okay. They're confused. Then Izuku just says, Izuku looks at the buildings up ahead and says, it looks like we're here. And then they look and they see that they're almost at UA. And, I'm going to end it off here. I remember halfway there to 100 subs, I release a song you guys pick. I'll sing it, and yeah, remember next part is going to be what if Deku had matter manipulation 2. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Halfway there. Remember, 100 by 20th. Bye.